Hi, this is Munson from Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you could play a song called Drunk Last Night by the Eli Young Band. And we start out with this really cool riff actually that ends up kind of going through our verse. It works off some things called power chords. And the way you play a G5 power chord, you put your first finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, third finger on the A string on the 5th fret, and if you strum just the E and the A strings together, that sounds a G5 power chord. And the riff that kind of you'll hear in the background is kind of going 3, 3, 3 on the low E string and then 5th on the A string. So it's kind of like a little arpeggio or broken chord of the G5. We're going E, 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 A, E, 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 A, and that kind of works for our intro. But you'll kind of hear that through the verse. And the chord that would kind of be implied by the G5 would be a G major chord. And when we play G major, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger goes to the low E string on the 3rd fret, and the third finger goes to the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord that sounds really happy. Now another G major you may want to consider through the song though is something I call a drone voicing, where you take your first finger on the A string 2nd fret, second finger on the low E string 3rd fret, but then take your third finger and go to the B string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major too. So it's another way to play G major. And then from that riff, actually, when we start going through our verse, there's this cool little riff that turns up where you play the open E 3 times, and then 2nd fret on the A string. And those two notes together sound an E5 power chord. So you'd be going E, 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 A, E, 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 A, kind of holding down that 2nd fret on the A string. And the chord that would kind of be implied by that would be an E minor chord. When we play E minor, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor, and it sounds really sad. Now another E minor you might want to consider is something I call a drone voicing, where you take your third finger and kind of add him in on the B string 3rd fret and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And that's called an E minor 7, so you may want to kind of think about using that too. And then from there in our verse, we got that lick kind of working to a C note. And actually that would kind of working around the C5 power chord. And then we play C5, first finger goes to the A string 3rd fret, third finger on the D string on the 5th fret, and now that riff kind of carries over from the A string to the D string, to that 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, 5. And that power chord is kind of implying a C major chord. When we play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, second finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, the third finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord. Now another C major you may want to consider through the song is something called C major 9. When we play C major 9, first finger goes to the D on the 2nd fret, second finger on the A string 3rd fret, the third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And that's called C major 9. The advantage of that actually would be kind of not having to move that 3rd and 4th finger to kind of make that G minor and C change. And then from the C riff, we go to a D riff, actually around a D5 power chord. When we play D5, first finger goes to the A string on the 5th fret, third finger on the D string on the 7th fret. If you strum just the A and the D strings, that sounds a D5, and that same idea kind of carries over to the D chord. So you may want to kind of play around with that. But that D5 kind of implies a D major chord, and the way you play D major, first finger goes to the G string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the high E on the 2nd fret, third finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum just the D string, G string, B, and E, and then that gives you a clearer sound, that's called D major. So you could kind of work that through as kind of the riffs, where you'd be doing the G riff, and then the E minor riff. So you may want to think about kind of using those, or maybe even as an intro to the tune if you're kind of trying to think about ways you could design it to kind of cover it yourself. Or you could even kind of work that as a chord thing and have it just be G major, G major, E minor, E minor, C major, D major through the verse. Now there's a couple different strum patterns you may want to think about using through the song. And one of my favorite 4/4 strum patterns for a song like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you take the G and just try that like down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So we try that through our first verse. We have G down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up. Now another strum pattern that I would think about using through the song though is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, Right now we're kind of dividing it into two parts with our down, down, up, down, up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's called an eighth note. What a 16th note is where you divide it into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the G and do it down for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. And on the second beat, you're doing it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing it up on 2, down on 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down. G was down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, G down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, fire down, down, up, down, 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 fire down, down, up, down, down, C down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down. And we ended up doing that 2 times, and then at the end we kind of end up on a waiting G. Our chorus part, and our chorus we start on C major, and then we go to E minor, and then we go to G major, and then we go to D major. And we do that twice, and the last time we do G major twice, and then we go to E minor, and then we kind of do a D major with kind of a half D and kind of a hit on it. So you may want to take the D and just do kind of a down, down, up, and then kind of a down, kill it kind of idea on that last D chord if you're doing the down, down, up, down, up. So we tried our chorus with the down, down, up, down, up. You'd have C with a down, down, up, down, D minor, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, C, down, up, down, D minor, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, G, down, up, down, D minor, down. Kill it. Or if you're doing the 16th note strum pattern, count on that chorus tag at the very end. Have the G, G, E minor. You can do the D with just kind of a down, 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 up, and then kind of work your kill it. So we tried it that way. You'd have C with a down, 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 up, down, 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 minor, down, 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 up, down, 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 G. And then from there, we'd be going back into our verse. Now, something else I would think about adding to the 2 notes, bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, you can throw in a bass note for the chord. So on the G chord, you have the low E string for your bass. On the E minor, you have the low E string for your bass. And on the C, you have the A string for your bass. And on the D, you have the D string for your bass. So we tried that second chorus with kind of a bass down, up, down, up. You'd have G with the bass down, up, down, G with low E bass down, up, down, D minor, low E bass down, up, down, D minor, low E bass down, up, down, C down, up, down, D with the bass down, up, down, G with low E bass down, up, down, up. Or if we tried kind of adding basses to our 16th, we could do kind of a bass down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or even a bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. It can be very cool. So we try that way. You have the verse with the G, G, E minor, E minor, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, G with a bass. And then from there, we'll be going into our next chorus part. So we tried that with our bass, down, up, down, up. You'd have C with an A bass, down, up, down, B minor, Louis bass, down, up, down, C with Louis bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, up. Or you might be digging on that with the 16th pattern. You'd have C with the bass, down, up, bass, down, B minor, Louis bass, down, up, bass, down, C with Louis bass, down, up, bass, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, down. And then from there, we'd be going into our first part. And kind of just one time through on this before we go into our solo. So we kept that bass with the 16th idea going. We'd have G with the bass, down, up, bass, down, G with the bass, down, up, bass, down, E minor, Louis bass, E minor, Louis bass, C with an A bass, D with the D bass. And then from there, we go into a solo part, kind of our bridge part. And we start on C major, and then E minor, and then G major, and then D major, just like our chorus part. But then we go to C major, and then an E minor, and then we go to kind of a D slash F sharp. You could just play just D major, or if you want to kind of get an F sharp in the bass, you could do first finger on the low E string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the G string 2nd fret, third finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret, and the pinky on the B string on the 2nd fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds a D slash F sharp, or a D with an F sharp in the bass. Another way to play that chord would be taking the D major we've been playing and take your thumb and go over the low E string on the 2nd fret. That's kind of a bluesy way to play it. Another possibility for digging on the drone voicings is to do first finger on the low E string 2nd, second finger on the G string 2nd, third finger on the B string 3rd, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd. And that sounds something called D sus slash F sharp. So you may want to think about those, and for that chord, you'd be using the low E string for your bass note on that chord. So from that, then we go to a C major chord, and then we kind of go to a D major at the very, very end of our bridge. So we tried that with our bass, down, up, down, up. You'd have C with an A bass, down, up, down, E minor, Louis bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, E minor, Louis bass, down, down, D slash F sharp with Louis bass, down, down, D slash F sharp, C with an A bass, D with the D bass. Or if we tried that with our bass 16th pattern, we'd have C, E minor, G, D, C with an A bass, E minor, Louis bass, D slash F sharp with Louis bass, D slash F sharp with Louis bass, C with an A bass, D with the D bass. And then from there, we'd be going back into our chorus part. So we have C, E minor, G major, D major, C major, E minor, G major, D major. And then from there, we'd be going into an outro, which is just like our verse part. And at the very end, if you're doing down, down, up, down, up, you'd have kind of a down, down, up, down on the very last G. So we tried that with a bass, down, up, down, up. You'd have G with the bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, E minor, Louis bass, down, down, E minor, Louis bass, down, down, C with an A bass, down, down, D with the D bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, G with the bass, down, down. Or if you're doing that with the 16th pattern, you could do kind of the down, down, down up on that last G before that very last down. So we tried it that way. You'd have G with bass, G, E minor, E minor, C with an A bass, D with the D bass, G with Louis bass, G with Louis bass, down, down, up, big G. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Drunk Last Night by the Eli Young Band. So good luck!